Hello and welcome. My name's Nicholas, and I'm here to do a quick chat about the lunar nodes. I had Cha Tassa send in a question into the YouTube video comments, and so I wanted to just quickly address it. It was a very good question. I'll just read it verbatim. Hi Nick, I enjoyed your astrology prediction. I have a quick quest. I have my north node in Aries, thus my south node is in Libra. I know that right now the North Node is passing through Libra. So, how this position is affecting me? Because I do have this current node position backwards on my natal chart. Thank you very much. So basically what Cha Tassa is talking about, it's a very good question and I thank you for it. She's talking about how the lunar nodes, just like any other transiting planet, continue to transit in the sky. And right now, the reversal is happening on her north and south nodes. And the nodes take about 19 years to return to their exact spot in your chart. And that's roughly, it's about 18.6 years. You'll have to get an astrologer or astrology software to get exact for yourself. But knowing this, you need to think about significant events of your life that happen around that 19-year mark. And every 9.5 years from there. To understand the question, you have to kind of understand a little bit more about the nodes of the moon. And basically what happens, like on October 8th, 3:55 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, we are going to have a total lunar eclipse. Why is that a total lunar eclipse? It's a total lunar eclipse because the sun and moon are going to be about 15 degrees of... I think they're going to be about 15 degrees of Aries and Libra, and the north and south nodes are going to be about 19 degrees of Aries and Libra. So when full moons and new moons happen near the nodes like that, that's when you get solar eclipse and lunar eclipses. And the ancestors, imagine the sky as being there. It's more important than the soap operas that we have today. They know this. The sky is their storyteller. The sky is their cycle maker. It's their calendar. Everything about it's their gods. To our ancestors, it's their big screen TV. It's their form of entertainment. And so when they see these great, crazy lunar eclipses or solar eclipses happening in the sky, it was a dramatic event. And they equated it with lots of energy. They equated it with lots of either auspicious or inauspicious things happening. It was just a volatile energy uprush because it was very fearful. It was ominous and it brought omens. And so that was kind of embedded in our psyche for many years. And now astrologers, and our ancestors were very precise and very good at predicting these eclipses. They were extremely mathematically, adept at doing these things. They knew what they were doing, and they knew exactly when they were happening. And so why the lunar eclipses are important, because think about that. Whenever the sun or full moon are near those nodes, that's when the eclipses happen. And so that's kind of what's happening in your chart, is you're getting an eclipse in your chart in a way, metaphorically, of the reversal roles of the nodes. It's about 9.5 years after they were exact, and now you're getting a reversal roll. So you need to be looking at what's going on in your life that's a major turning point, some major theme, some major chain that's going on for you. I have to honestly answer, though, that's kind of like a little background of why the nodes are important, how they're significant, and why astrologers think that they represent life-changing events, because a lot of energy gets stimulated with those nodes. To go into a little bit more detail about the nodes are, there's a Latin word for the nodes. It's dragon something. It's basically the nodes are the dragon. The dragon head is the north node, and the dragon tail is the south node. The dragon head is what we're striving for, what we came into this world to manifest, what we've given our energy and our desires to. So Cha, you have your north node in Aries and your south node in Libra. You need to give your energy and your life purpose to that part of your chart and whatever house it represents, and whatever planets may be aspecting it. You need to give energy into that part of your life in terms of developing it, growing it, and you're going to kind of be obsessed and want to work hard toward it. You're going to have energy for it, but it also may be something you're not naturally good at, you're not naturally inclined at, but you want to work hard to develop, and maybe at this time in your life you've already developed it fairly well. You've already been through many cycles of planets transiting your north node and whatnot, that you've actually integrated that cycle so well that you've accomplished some of its meanings and you're pretty good at it by now. The south node represents the dragon tail, and the dragon tail is basically what we're getting out of our life, what we're kind of pushing away from, what we don't need, what's not serving us, what we don't need to learn. If we learn that well, we're not going for those lessons. If we do engage in the south node activities, we're kind of stagnating ourselves. We've been here before. It's not soul fulfilling. It's not a true north node thing. Some of the Dan Rudyard stuff I've read, he described the south node though as something that sometimes people are naturally good at. And so they can use it as a stepping stone to develop their life, but then they have to kind of leave that skill behind to move into what they need to grow into. So a lot of people, if they have like the south node in a creative like 5th house, they'll probably be great artists. But since their north node's in the 11th, they need to kind of go out and teach that art. They need to be around people with that art. They need to express it and show it and really be more about the sharing and networking side of that art as opposed to being the great artist alone in their room. Hermiting away doing great stuff. So the south node is like, I always equate it with people, like the movie star. I've got everything. I have everything I want. Why am I not happy or fulfilled? Those people have really fulfilled the promise of their south node and the natural skills came into this world with, but they haven't taken that leap, which is a difficult leap to do, into really integrating the north node lessons, what they're really supposed to be here to do, because it's hard. It's hard to go into, to buck. It's supposedly your karma, all your past lives of workings is that south node energy, and you're going to get rid of that and try to move into the north node. So, I don't want people to think that the south node is all bad. It's just that it's natural skills. Use it to prop you up, but know that it's not going to fill your soul. Other than that, I don't know anything about you, Cha. I don't know your birth time. I don't know anything. And so, with astrology, a lot of people call it a science and an art. But I also want to stress that it's humanistic. So, just like tomorrow, I can predict that I'm going to be at work at 8 a.m. You don't need astrology. I mean, that's a logical thing. Astrology is good at telling me, not that I'm going to be at work at 8 a.m. and predicting this precise event. Astrology is pretty good. I can run an event chart for 8 o'clock a.m. Beverly Hills, California, and see kind of the feel of my workday. Where's the communication coming from? What houses? What aspects? Where's the sun energy? Is it in a happy place, or is it in like a 12th house place, being subjugated and put into sorrows and kind of put into the background? Where's Jupiter hanging out? And you can kind of get a feel for the day and the energy and kind of get an idea of the flow and what's going to come up or crop up and what's going to be important for you. And that's why it's important to always realize that you got to put that the natal chart is very important, but it's only a root chart usually based with other charts as a predictive tool if you're going to get predictive with it. And secondly, since I know nothing about you, I don't know how you've integrated your nodal energy. But that said, I also want to stress that astrology is not only humanistic, it's not only a science and an art, but I also firmly believe it's synchronistic and divinary. And so you came to me with a question at a specific time in a specific way, and I happened to look at it at work, and ruminate over it, and that synchronistic event brought about the specific answer that I can give to you. And it's an exchange in a way. It's karma. It's like it's transactional. It's kind of how life works. And so, I mean, everything I don't push around my environment. My environment doesn't push around me. We integrate together. And so when I got this question, the synchronistic thing, after I started really ruminating and thinking about it, that came to me was, this is your time to focus on your strengths. This is your time to do and act and B, a way that is natural to you. And so why I'm saying this is that the nodes are stagnant in your chart. And if you're doing your sole purpose very good, if you're working really hard, you're going to be working at what you're weak at. What you're weak at is the North Node, and that is an Aries Cha. And that is about not being objective like Libra. That is about not listening to the other point of view. That is about feeling your gut instinct, feeling your fire, being a pioneer, ramming ahead, and getting it done. And fire energy is soul energy because it's just using God's energy to do. And air energy is more thoughtful. You know, Libra, a lot of people think Libra is like this very whimsical sign, whatever, it's so nice and loving. No, it's about equality. Yes, because it falls on the fall equinox, but it's a cardinal air sign. Libra people act, and they want to act. They just want to act with just objectivity. And they're very good judges because of that. That's why they make great judges, because people with a lot of Libra energy know how to be objective. They understand their subjective wants, desires, and needs very well. They know how to use them in the proper settings. But in the other settings, when it's time for business, they can be very, very objective. And you have a natural propensity for that. That is where your South Node strength is. Your South Node strength is being fair and social and kind and knowing the other side of the story and wanting to please other people and kind of balance out their perspective with yours. And so when this transiting North Node is coming into your South Node, the transiting North Node wants you to focus on this area of your life again, and wants you to you've already been practicing, for the last 9.5 years, all your North Node up there. So for this next 2.5 years or whatever it is that's going through this house in Libra, this is a time for you to, if you're a bass player, don't go out and learn guitar solos. Play the hell out of your bass. Do what's natural. Do what you're good at. Be that Libra energy, that equality, liberty, and justice kind of vibe to it, and experience that. So, other than that, the only things that I want you to be aware of in your chart, and then I can finish up, is that, so if I look at the current chart, Aries has got Chiron and Uranus affecting your North Node. I don't know the degrees of your North Node, so I can't answer that. And Libra has a ton of planets in it, from the Moon, the Sun, and Mercury. So they're all affecting your North Node. So that's going to flavor things for you. What I would also encourage you to do in your own chart is look at where Venus is in your chart. Right now, Venus is in Virgo, so that's stimulating your North Node energy. So you're going to be very practical. You're going to be very good at, just attracting very concise, earthy kind of situations. And with a South Node, you're going to have that Uranus-Chiron energy, which is very murky and strange. So, and Mars is in Sagittarius, so it's going to be, you have a lot of fire going on in your South Node. There's a lot of things going on in your past that are just kind of firing up right now. So that's the best interpretation I can do with the information I have, and I hope it's as humanistic as I can make it, but it is divinistic because I am speaking from what I'm called to say with a little bit of the astrology intermingled. So anyway, I hope that was helpful, and it kind of gives you a glimpse into my approach to answering these questions. Thank you so much for your question, and I look forward to doing more of these little astrology talks. Thanks.